Russian army soldiers have exploded on a mine planted by Ukrainian fighters in Russia's Kursk region. Some of the Russians driving the UAZ car were killed and others were seriously injured. The images were taken and shared by another soldier who survived the accident. The serviceman explained that he was behind his fellow soldiers, and that's why he survived. He added that he was horrified by the incident. Saying that they were under the control of Ukrainian drones, the fighter stressed that they are trying to evacuate their dead and wounded fellow soldiers.
Короче, пацаны, сегодня прошел чутка левее, застрял. Пацаны решили обойти меня. Справа нарвались на мину. Пацаны 200. Все, одного эвакуировали. Сейчас будем работать дальше. Пацанам просто пиздец. Они проехали правее. Оттуда, откуда должен был я проехать. Я застрял просто. Они решили меня обойти. Ёбаный рот, смотрите, что здесь творится. Это пиздец. Я в ахуе. Старшина! Ты здесь? Ёбаный рот, пацаны. Что за хуйня? Кто живой? Вот, паханку разорвал. Кто живой? Он живой? Сейчас будем вытаскивать. Они как, вот здесь? Ёбаный в рот. Чей телефон? А? Держи. Будем работать сейчас. Все нормально. Вот где мина лежала, пацаны. Пацаны. Работает воздух, пацаны!
The head of the Kremlin, Vladimir Putin, is a priori not ready for peace talks with Ukraine as he wants to continue the war. His main goal was and remains unchanged: complete political control over our state and better, overall, of Eastern Europe. However, the operation of the armed forces of Ukraine in Kursk, in Russia, showed that the regime of the Kremlin dictator is fragile and any black swan can lead to its end. His first presidential term began with the Kursk submarine disaster, and it would be wonderful if the events in Kursk had buried this regime. After all, for the first time since World War II, war had come to Russia, and Putin himself had brought it. This opinion was expressed by Russian oppositionist Olga Kunosova in an exclusive interview with Oboz Revitel media outlet. Retired British Army Colonel Hamish de Bretton-Gordon said that Putin's failure to push the Ukrainian armed forces out of the Kursk region by the deadline looks like a blow to Putin's dictatorship. In his opinion, Kursk could be the beginning of the end for Putin in 2025, as it was for Hitler in 1943. Olga Kunosova says that this is already a problem for Putin personally and for his regime as a whole, but we must understand that Putin's fall, unfortunately, is not as close as we would like. Although in principle the regime is quite fragile and any black swan event could lead to its quick end. She says that Putin doesn't give a damn about anyone except himself, his close friends and maybe his relatives, that's all. We remember how his presidency began with the death of submarines on the Kursk submarine, also Kursk. So I would like this Kursk to finally bury him, she added. If we take the formal side of the issue, the inviolability of Russia's borders was closely related to the inviolability of Ukraine's borders because all these borders were formed at the time of signing the Belavezha Accords. And in a legal sense, they have the same weight with the borders of Russia and the borders of Ukraine. Therefore, Putin violated his own borders, the borders of Russia, exactly at the moment when he crossed the border of Ukraine with regular troops on February the 24th, 2022. But Putin is a kind of reader, someone who treats legal issues formally. Despite the fact that he graduated from law school, he does not distinguish between natural law and law. He tries to deceive and treat everyone with formal tricks. This is where all his wild, from the point of view of a normal person, things come from. So there's nothing to be surprised about here. The way he behaves, unfortunately, is not surprising, she added.
Mexican firefighters have arrived in U.S. to help battle wildfires which have devastated large areas of California. 2 aircraft carrying the crews as well as humanitarian aid landed in Los Angeles on Saturday, where they were greeted by California Governor Gavin Newsom. "This is what friends do," Newsom said after welcoming the firefighters. "This is what relationships are all about. Friends in need being there for one another." Firefighters raced Saturday to cut off spreading wildfires before potentially strong winds return that could push the flames toward the world-famous J. Paul Getty Museum and the University of California, Los Angeles, while new evacuation warnings left more homeowners on edge. Light breezes were fanning the flames, but the National Weather Service warned that strong Santa Ana winds, the nemesis of firefighters, could soon return. Those winds have been largely blamed for turning the wildfires into infernos that leveled entire neighborhoods around a city where there has been no significant rainfall in more than 8 months. The fire also was threatening to jump over Interstate 405 and into densely populated areas in the Hollywood Hills and San Fernando Valley. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office confirmed the death toll from the wildfires ravaging the area has risen to 16. The total of confirmed fatalities stands at 16 victims, and the cases remain under investigation. 5 of the deaths were attributed to the Palisades fire, and 11 resulted from the Eaton fire, the coroner's office said in a statement Saturday evening. The previous number of confirmed fatalities was 11, but officials said they expected that figure to rise as cadaver dogs search leveled neighborhoods and crews assess the devastation. Authorities have established a center where people can report the missing.
This is what friends do. This is what relationships are all about. Friends in need, being there for one another. We want to be there for the people of Mexico in times of need and disasters, and we're incredibly humbled and grateful that the President was willing to send the crew you see behind me. They'll be out on the lines within the next 24, 36 hours, and we're very, very grateful.